Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Shreshtham Manamapi Shakti Putram Atra Surupam Rupam Tasyagajam Urupurim Matarim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natasmi Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyataf Padakavalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Shakhamvitamscha Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishvadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamala Nayanam Saravaloka Lakshmi Kantam Kamala Nayanam Yogi Bhedhyana Gamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavabhayaharam Saravalokaikanatham Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vishnu Sahasranama, name 107 is Satyah. Very important. Before that, some points about another name, which I already spoke on. Hrishikesh, another very important name. So I was just hearing Srila Prabhupada explain yesterday that Krishna is Hrishikesh, the master of the senses. Srila Prabhupada said that this is borne out by Krishna's own statement in Bhagavad Gita. Kshetragyam chapi mang vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Krishna is the knower. Krishna says, I should be known as the knower of all fields. So Srila Prabhupada explained that this means that Krishna is the controller of the senses of everyone. Also, another point about Hrishikesh, he knows these sensual desires and activities of everyone, and accordingly he awards everyone various sets of senses. So if someone desires to enjoy sensually, like a pig or a dog or a god, Krishna arranges that. He knows exactly what is the suitable set of senses that a person should attain, and accordingly he awards that to them. Now the next name, Satyah. Many times going through the names of Vishnu, I feel that this is the most important name. Actually, the most important name is Krishna. All right. That includes all other names. But to understand Krishna as Satya, without understanding Krishna as Satya, we cannot understand Krishna at all. If we think that Krishna, Satya means real or true. Truth. Truth is the usual translation. Without understanding that Krishna is reality, or Krishna, first of all, Krishna is real, as we heard from Manida Prabhu in a completely different style of presentation. Without understanding that Krishna is real, then what is the impetus to be Krishna conscious? Then we take everything else to be real. Narottam Das also sings. What is that? Ahankare matta hoya nittai pada pasharya ashat tere satta karimane. Becoming insane by false ego. We forget the lotus, or they forget the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, and thus they take that which is unreal to be real. If we don't accept Krishna or understand Krishna as being real, then we take that which is not really real to be real, and we suffer in this material world. Another alternative is to take everything as unreal. That is the position of the Buddhists. That's an even worse position. So it is essential to understand that Krishna is real, as Narottam Das also says in that song. Nitaya charana satta tahara shevaka nitta. That the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, they are real. It's not just some imagination. And one who accepts that, his servant, they are eternal. Just like tomorrow we shall celebrate the appearance anniversary of Srila Prabhupada. So just like Krishna comes into this world, it's Nitya Lila. His pastimes are eternal. It's more or less the same pastimes over. He's the same person. It's not that when Krishna gets born one time he has one. Well, that's also there. Different forms, different incarnations is the general word used. So they manifest different personalities. But Ram is always Rama. Krishna is always Krishna. Vamana is always Vamana. It's not that Krishna has to take a different form due to, just like in this life I may have one personality, and in another lifetime I may manifest another lifetime as my sensual desires have gone up and down, they're on another wave, and in one lifetime I may be an extrovert. Of course these are modern Freudistic terms, or Jungian terms. Extrovert or introvert. You may manifest different personalities, but Krishna is real and eternal. He's the same person all the time. It's not that he takes on, impelled by the modes of nature, he has different manifestations. So Srila Prabhupada also, we understand, he is situated on the real platform of service to Krishna, and this is his eternal activity of serving Krishna as a preacher of Krishna consciousness. So Satyah, Krishna is real in the truest sense. Some people, another argument is that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, this world is false, and only Brahma is Satya, only Brahma is real. But the Vaishnavas accept this world as real. However, it is not real in the fullest sense. It's a temporary manifestation. But Krishna is Satya in the fullest sense. He is truth, he is reality. Now this word Satya, this could modify or be used as an adjective for, or a, not a qualifier, but a clarifier of every other name in Vishnu Sahasranama, and practically, let's deal with that. Just like one name in Vishnu Sahasranama is Vamana. So Vamana means a dwarf. There may be so many dwarfs. But Krishna is the real dwarf, because someone's a dwarf and next life they're a giant. It's only a temporary manifestation. But Krishna is eternally, he manifests this power. He hasn't, that is his eternal form. Purushottam. Krishna is the Supreme Person. Within a certain sphere, or someone may appear to be the Supreme Person, we can say that the Supreme, it's not incorrect to say that the Supreme Person of Croatia is the President. So that's not incorrect to say that. But he's not the real Supreme Person. It's only within a relative sphere. Because you have to go beyond and see beyond Croatia, beyond this planet. And when we go up, the topmost Supreme Person is only Krishna. So Satyah Purushottam. He's the real Purushottam. This, we find generally the term Ishvara or Parameshvara is understood to mean Lord Shiva. So in India people often ask me, how can you say Krishna is supreme when Shiva is well known to be Parameshvara? It's just, like common, just like the president of the country. Everyone knows he's the president of the country. It's just an accepted fact. So I explained that well, that's true that he's Parameshvara. He's known like that in this world. Because people of this world, they don't know, they're in this world because they don't know who is the real Parameshvara. Parameshvara means the Supreme Controller. They do not know who is the Controller, even if because we take only this world to be real, we see Shiva as Supreme. Because this world is controlled by Durga, and she is the wife of Shiva, so we take Shiva to be supreme. So that is true, but that is within the incomplete perspective that we have. But the real Parameshvara, the controller even of Shiva, is Krishna. So practically any word that can be modified by the term Satya, and we will find Krishna. So Satya means the truth. And if this is to be discussed, we only have half an hour here. But, the first verse of Bhagavatam, as you were saying in your class yesterday, that any verse from Bhagavad Gita, you can discuss it for 3 days, non-stop. So even this, the first, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva, Janmadhyasa Yataha, this, the source of all emanations. So that in itself, just that topic, people study their whole life. They're studying astrophysics and trying to work out what is the beginning of all emanations. They spend their whole life. But by the mercy of Vyasadeva, we get just there in the beginning of Bhagavatam. So anyway, I did that seminar once on the first verse of Bhagavatam. Was it here I did that? Yes. Yeah. So that was a few days. And that's just touching it. But the point there, Satyam Parandhimahi, this Srimad Bhagavatam is not a discourse on any trivial matter, that which is perceived as being real by people who do not know what is reality. For them, that is the second verse. Dharma kaitava. What is that? Dharma projita kaitava atra. In the second verse says, whatever is conceived of as being real without a relationship with Krishna, Ritayatam yat pratiyeta, that Krishna himself says. Whatever is conceived of real, that is not, if anything is conceived of as being real without a relation to me, we should know that to be simply illusion. So the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam is actual reality, which is again described in the second verse. Vedyam vasavam atra vastu. This is the actual subject to be understood in the Veda. Veda means knowledge. So Krishna is the actual reality without understanding which or whom. Actually, it may sound, if you say which without understanding which, that may sound impersonal or impersonal or demeaning. But in Sanskrit, anyway, it's the same. Which or whom. Without understand, well, either we can understand as the absolute truth, then we'll say which, or we can understand as Krishna. Means the same thing. And Srila Prabhupada's preface to the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is that should also be a subject of a long seminar. He says that the conception of the absolute truth and of the Supreme Person are not on the same level. Srila Prabhupada brilliantly catches this, presents this point. How some, generally people who think themselves to be spiritual-minded, they conceive of of the absolute truth as being impersonal. And there are others who are religious who think of God, the Supreme Person. They're conceived of differently. There are spiritualists who they just want to merge into the oneness. And there are religious people who believe in God and pray to God. But Srila Prabhupada points out that the Srimad Bhagavatam brings together these two concepts, that the absolute truth is not impersonal, is the Supreme Person. So this is the whole subject matter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now truth, what is truth? When one goes into a court in Britain, one is supposed to swear, putting his hand on the Bible, or whatever, nowadays, whatever book. I wonder what the atheists do. Swear on the God delusion. They have to put their hand on a book. They say, I swear to speak the whole truth on the virtual principle. Well, what do the Buddhists do? Because they don't even have any virtual principle. See, put their hand on nothing. But they say we're going to speak the truth, but they don't believe there is. They don't believe there is any truth to start off with. No, they may be. There's no. Anyway, Buddhism is the strangest thing of all. Really, very, very strange. It makes impersonalism look almost possible. It's so strange. They have different schools of Buddhism, and they all have these intricate philosophies in which they try to, in different ways, everything is nothing. Well, you can't say everything. And in different ways they're arguing with each other how nothing. You can't say how nothing is nothing. You can't, and then you come to the sound of one hand clapping and all. It's just totally absurd. It makes Monty Python look like something very serious. Just so insane. Anyway, we're not talking about Buddhism here. We're talking about Krishna. There are relative truths. Yeah, right. That's the point. So you swear. I swear to speak the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I swear I speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's it. And it's all nonsense, whatever it is. But it's true in one sense that I saw so-and-so punch so-and-so number 2 in the face. I swear. I saw it. It's true. It's a fact. Number 2 claims that number 1 hit me in the face. And I saw it. I'm a witness. Okay. It's true. It's said to be true. But that is a relative truth, because it took place at a certain time, place, and circumstance within this world in which everything is changing. It's no longer the truth. That's what the Buddhists will point out. It only existed then, it doesn't exist now, so it means it doesn't exist at all, because everything's only momentary, and if everything's only momentary, then it can't be said to exist. Therefore nothing exists. But that there is existence is because of Krishna. You have to give me more time. We have all day. I was going to say to you, but you got up more quickly that you don't take time away from the ultimate speaker. Ultimate in the sense of being last, that's all. You could have taken more time also. So, that will be discussed later. Satyasya satyam, the truth of the truth. Is this world real or not real? We can go on discussing ad infinitum, ad nauseam. Well, not actually ad infinitum, because in the meantime we will have to change body. But then someone else will take it up. That's why you find philosophical arguments. They go on generation after generation. But what is the conclusion? Is this world real or not real? The answer is Krishna. That is the answer. But wait a minute, how does that fit? Krishna is the, what did you call it? Virtual principle. He's not the God particle, he's God. If there are any particles, they're because Krishna put them there. So, Krishna is the absolute truth. That means upon which everything else depends. And Krishna is not dependent on anything else for his existence. So this truth, actual truth is Krishna. I saw him punch someone else in the face. That may be true, but it's not true in the full sense. Because anyway these bodies are temporary. The person is not the body. One body that hit another body, it's not really him. And another thing is, it's all conceived of without a relationship with Krishna. So it has no ultimate meaning, whatever they do. I mean, even the atom bomb, which you were desiring to fall on the head of the people around you, and even if it did, and Srila Prabhupada said it will do, because they made the weapons and they'll want to use them. So at some point in time they will use these weapons. But even that, such a major event, the atom bomb falls on wherever it falls on, or wherever it's exploded. Such a major event, it's insignificant. There are atom bombs going off all over the place. I mean, the equivalent, they say in the sun there are scientists say we do. There are this tiny little planet, which we take to be so important, and this little blip in time. So everything here is so insignificant. Yet people we're looking for significance. What is the purpose of life? Why do we think ourselves so significant? Why does Richard Dawkins think that it's so important to write a book, many books, trying to convince people that there's no God? What is the significance? Where does the significance come from? The significance is because there is Krishna. But if we take anything to be meaningful without Krishna, whatever it may be, Second World War, some people maybe get very upset if you say this, because you say, like, there was the Holocaust, 3 million Jews, or what, 6 million, that's right, yeah. 6 million Jews, of course that's what they say, but who knows? It's all propaganda. Yeah, if you say that, people get very upset. It's all in 6 million Jews killed, all in. Not in and of itself, it has no significance. Daily Holocaust is going on, more than 6 million. If you take all the chickens, fish, cows, sheep, abortions, somehow they don't think of that. But we say that's significant because there is the universal law set up by Krishna, by which people have to suffer, and they have to forget Krishna life after life. So everywhere, if we see Krishna, there is significance. If we don't see Krishna, then everything is meaningless. Without Krishna, everything is meaningless. There's a verse from the Mahabharata. Satya pratishtata Krishna. Satamasmin pratishtitam. Sata satte cha govinda tasmat satya satamataha. Krishna is established in Satya, and Satya is established in Krishna. Existence and non-existence are established in Govinda. Therefore, persons who are themselves established in truth, they say that Krishna, or they opine that Krishna is truth. Krishna is truth. All right. Now, today's Janmashtami. So, Krishna has appeared. Is that right? Krishna has appeared today? No. Still waiting. Still wait, just about to appear. So, there's a verse spoken by the demigods when Krishna is still in the womb. The Garbha Stuti, the second chapter of the 10th canto, in which there's one verse in which the demigods praying to Krishna in the womb, they in various ways address Krishna as Satya. And of course there may be thousands and millions of ways, but this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Satya vratam satya param trisatyam satyasya yonim nehitam jasatye satyasya satyam rita satya netram satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapanna. So the first of these names is Satya vratam. He's true to his vow. This name is particularly connected with Ramachandra Bhagavan. Srila Prabhupada, he comments on this, that in this connection with Krishna about to appear from the womb of Devaki, that Satyavrata, one who is true to his vow, he doesn't renege on his word, means that Krishna appears to honor his words. Yada yada hi dharmasya glane bhavati bharata abhutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijameham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in dharma, at that time Krishna says, and an uprising of adharma, non-religion, Krishna says at that time, I appear. Now you may say, well, Krishna didn't speak that until after he appeared, so how can it be how is it that Krishna is appearing to fulfill his word when he hasn't even spoken it? But the demigods, they know that Krishna is the eternal truth, and it's not that when he appears from Devaki, that he's a new person. And as Krishna himself says, Imang vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam. I spoke this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivasvan, which is many millions of years ago. And because what Krishna speaks is avyayam, it's eternal and imperishable, then Krishna has spoken Bhagavad Gita again and again and again. So Krishna's vow to appear, the demigods know that, and they are appreciating. And of course, also he told the demigods when they came to him on the milk ocean, you go and appear in the families of the Yadus, Bhojas, Andhakas, Vrishnis, and I will come. So they're already in different forms within the world, within the earth, on the earth, and in their demigod forms they're coming and praying, and they're appreciating that Krishna said, you go and then I'll come. And he's about to come. Satyavratam. Satya Param, the absolute truth, supreme truth, upon which all other truths depend, that will be said. Trisatyam. Krishna is truth in all phases of time. Not that something is true. Beijing is the capital of China. So that's true, right? No one will deny that that's not true. But it's only true in the present time. If we go back far enough in time, there's no China, there's no Beijing, so there's no China to be a capital of. And if you go forward in time, it will also cease to be true. But that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is true in all phases of time. Therefore, Trisatyam. Satyasya yonim. All truths emanate from him. He is the cause of all truths, relative and absolute. Truth rests in him, is another way of Nihitam cha satye. Srila Prabhupada explains this to mean that he entered the 5 elements, so that the elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, form into different forms, which are therefore considered real. They have specific, into different distinct identities. So Krishna maintains reality at all stages, from the atomic up to the universal. What we perceive as real is literally held in place because Krishna holds it all together. These scientists, they're talking about the God particle, but why not just accept there's God who holds everything together? They're just extremely envious, actually. I mean, scientifically speaking, if we put forward as a hypothesis that there is a supreme person who has designed this whole show and holds it all together by his power, all observable phenomena fit very well within that hypothesis. So it's not at all unscientific to accept it. And in the absence of anything better, it should be accepted. At least as much as you accept Darwin's theory. It's not proved, but it's accepted because they think it explains. But this explains much better. But they won't accept it because they are rascals. And they're very busy looking. There's no need actually to look for God particles or this or that. You just spend billions of dollars making, what is that? They're sending particle neutrinos and all this kind of, in billions of dollars. Just go to Manida, he'll sell you the first volume of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the first verse, in the first line, you get everything, and then you don't have to spend billions of dollars. And it doesn't really matter how he does it. There are neutrinos or whatever. It doesn't matter to you. The real thing you have to understand is Krishna. And how he does it, what does it matter to you? And stop trying to fiddle around with nature and genetically modified vegetables when Krishna already gave you very good vegetables as they are. Playing God. But they don't recognize that there's any ultimate truth beyond their intelligence. They think this is what we say is true. The scientists say it is true. And they're all arguing with each other behind the scenes, and up front they present as if they're all unified. But they're talking about unified field theory, but they're not even unified among themselves on anything. Whereas the devotees who recognize the absolute truth as Krishna, they do so in all phases of time. What Vyasadeva said, Madhvacharya says, actually way before, Brahma says, Ramanuja says, Shankaracharya says, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's no argument, there's no change in the theory, there's no need to change the theory. If you have the right to, there's no need to change 2 + 2 = 4. If it's a fact, it's a fact, and it's finished, and you don't have to do, now I'm going to take a $20 billion grant from the government to investigate, is 2 + 2 really 4? Or is it just maybe there's something more to be found out about this? There's no need. But Krishna is the supreme truth, the absolute substantive principle of everything. It's already settled. Nirupitam. There's no need for research work. So, Satyasya Satyam. Now I wrote something here, but it's so small, I can't read it. The principle, Krishna is the principle of truth in all that is accepted as true. So, Beijing is the capital of China. That's correct, right? Sometimes they have the biggest city and then some other city is the capital. Like what's the capital of Sri Lanka? Colombo? No, it's just the biggest city, that's all. Sri Jayawadin, something like that. What is it? Oh. Sri Jayawatanapura. She is the capital. Now the Sri Lankans are arguing among themselves. It's not fully established as the truth, at least in their minds. What's the capital of Gujarat? Okay, you know. But the others might have said Ahmedabad, because it's the biggest city. So Gandhinagar is the administrative capital. So Beijing is the capital of China. So we recognize some things are true. 2 + 2 = 4. True. An indisputable fact. Beijing, I'm not sure, but Beijing is the capital of, it's probably the wrong pronunciation. Anyway, that's how it's said in English. Beijing is the capital of China. So what, if there's any truth in anything, how can there be any truth in anything? This again, the Buddhists and the Mayavadis, they're hung up on this. How can anything be true? But yes, this world is true, it is not false, because Krishna, He imbues truth. There's some element of truth. It's not completely you can't say it's totally untrue, even though it may be temporary. Or 2 + 2 = 4. Well, it's another thing. The scientists, they study everything in terms of mathematics, and they think all this came by chance. So it's bizarre, because but why do they say that? Because they cannot accept that they accept the mathematics as true, and it is true, but how did this all come? Krishna. Krishna is the principle. Satyasya Satyam. Rita Satya Netram, which means he is the eye of Rita and Satya. Rita is a very similar term to Satya. Sarvame tad ritang manye, I accept as truth all that you say. So, the origin of whatever is true. Srila Prabhupada translates this. Or the eye of truth. Krishna sees what is actually true. And if we see through Krishna's, the eye that he gives us, Jnana Chakshu, the eye of knowledge, then we can also see what is true and what is not true. How could Srila Prabhupada just see everything so clearly? What is correct, what is incorrect, what is a fact, what is not a fact? How could he distinguish Krishna consciousness from illusion? There's that book is published, Beyond All Doubt and Illusion. And what is the book? It's Srila Prabhupada speaking about different philosophers. How could Srila Prabhupada, all these philosophies were brought to Srila Prabhupada, he hadn't heard them before, but immediately he analyzed, yes, what this philosopher says is, this part he says is correct, that part is incorrect. This part is partially correct. Immediately could give the correct understanding of all different philosophies, because he sees with the eye of truth. There was that poster put in Australia for when Srila Prabhupada came. He has, what is it? He has seen the truth. Srila Prabhupada was very pleased with that. For Prabhupada's, he was arranged to give a lecture, and a poster was put up. He has seen the truth. Srila Prabhupada appreciated that. He's seen the truth means he's seen Krishna. Satyatmakam, which means he is, of course it's a little difficult to say in English without suggesting a wrong meaning. He's composed of truth, but that gives the idea that there's something, that Krishna's made up of something. Just like we may say the personification of truth. And then you can say that, but it gives the idea that truth is higher than Krishna, or Krishna is made up of something. So it's not really very well translatable into English, at least I can't think of the English to put it together. But you can say his very being is truth. How about that? Truth is Krishna, yeah. His very being is truth. Satyatmakam. Srila Prabhupada, he says about this Satyatmakam, everything pertaining to him is truth. And Srila Prabhupada gives the example, Sat Chit Ananda. His existence is truth. His knowledge is truth. And his bliss is truth. His happiness is truth. So, that's another, you could speak for hours on that also, comparing to how the happiness of this world, it's not real. The knowledge of this world, it's not real. The very existence of this world is not real, but everything about Krishna is truth, is real. And therefore the conclusion that the demigods very intelligently make, Sharanam Prapanna, we take shelter of you. So we should take shelter of Krishna because he is the truth. He is the actual shelter, Satya Sharanam. Others we take shelter of. Maharaj, you were quoting that. Prahlad Maharaj said, we take shelter. What is that verse you're saying? That begins, Balasya neha sharanam pitaro nrsimha. The child takes shelter of the parents, but the parents cannot protect the child. If the child has to die, the parents, there's nothing they can do. Or naratasya chagatam udanvanti majjato. Bring some medicine, take shelter of the medicine. But if you're destined to die, the medicine won't protect you. Or the boat, you think it's an unsinkable boat, but if Krishna wants, or it will sink. A well-known example. But the real shelter is Krishna. So we should take shelter of him because he's the ultimate truth. Other meanings of the word Satya, apart from the truth, Shankaracharya gives one meaning, that Sat means prana, Tit means food, and Yam means the sun. He is Satya because and this is quoting from Shastra, Aitreya Aranyaka, that his form is prana, food, and sun. And no further explanation is given. So I also won't endeavor to, because it's a little difficult to understand. Now another very important meaning is Satsu Sadhutvat Satya. He is Satya because he is well disposed toward persons who are Sat, Satsu. So that means like sadhu, persons who are inclined, who are seeking the truth, who are sincerely seeking the truth, who wish to live in truth. Krishna is inclined to them. And Srila Prabhupada comments in this regard, unless one is completely truthful, one cannot achieve his favor, which therefore cannot be achieved by hypocrites. We require Krishna's mercy to understand him, but that Krishna will award to those who are truthful. And again we find Satam, that what is that Nashta praise. Then what's the verse after that? He's the truthful. He's the benefactor of the truthful. That's the Bhagavatam. Shinvatang Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. Hridantasto hiya bhadrani vidhunoti. I'm getting old. Suhrit Satam. And then there's vidhunot. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada, this Satam, Srila Prabhupada says he's the benefactor of those who are truthful. So those who are actually truthful, who are sincerely trying to find the truth, Krishna, who is the truth, reveals himself to them, and not to hypocrites. As we find people say we're searching for the truth. And Srila Prabhupada says, why are you searching for the truth? That sounds very noble, doesn't it? I'm searching for the truth. Prabhupada says, why are you searching for the truth? Here's Krishna. He is the truth. He's presenting himself. Why don't you take it? So Srila Prabhupada exposed these hypocritical so-called seekers for the truth, who, they'll be sitting around drinking wine and discussing with each other about philosophy, but they're not serious. So those who are actually sincere, Krishna reveals himself to them. And we are celebrating Janmashtami today. Oh, wait a minute, there's some other important points. Yeah, that in philosophy, in Tattva Gyan, we just heard an explanation of the word Tattva, that which is considered Satya is that which is true in all three phases of time. So the only one who fits that definition is Krishna. Therefore he is, just like we say, Krishna, Bhagavan, that must mean Krishna, because Bhagavan, this is the description, full of 6 opulences, that must mean Krishna. So if we come from the philosophical point of view, Satya, that which is true, unchanging, in all three phases of time, that must mean Krishna. Therefore Krishna is the truth. Another meaning, he never speaks a lie. Well, wait a minute. Krishna does speak lies. No. Krishna never speaks lies. And of course with Krishna, because he's the supreme truth, everything is possible in him. Therefore all contradictions must be in him also. He's full, therefore the quality of never speaking a lie is one of his qualities. There's nothing that Krishna doesn't do, and if there's anything that Krishna doesn't do or cannot do, then he's not full and complete. So the quality of truthfulness is there in Krishna, and that he speaks lies, that's also in him, because if he didn't tell lies, then he couldn't be supreme and complete, right? So both things are true. You want to understand it logically? Cannot. He never tells a lie, and of course everyone knows he tells lies. But both things are true. He is dear to, I'm not going to attempt to explain that anymore. He is dear to the truthful, another meaning of the word Satyah. In Vedic culture, this term is well known. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. The qualities of the Absolute. So these three qualities. Satyam, truth, he is the truth, he is real in the really realist sense. Shivam, the truth is auspicious, beneficial, and beautiful. Sundaram. So these three qualities, they summarize all the qualities of Krishna and all the names of Vishnu Sahasranama. They are manifest. They emphasize some aspect of these three qualities. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. So this is Krishna, and it's worth celebrating his appearance in this world. And other birthdays, not worth celebrating. That is there, the culture is there to celebrate the appearance of the spiritual master. But otherwise birthdays means we're celebrating, I made yet again for the zillionth time, I got born again in this material world, forgetting Krishna. It's a mistake, not something to be celebrated. Actually, today is my birthday. I always say that. Wait a minute. It's 2012. 37 years old. I was initiated on this day. It's a real birthday. So, some thoughts for Janmashtami, the supreme truth, the ultimate truth is here. He's always here. So how did he get born? Anyway, we were chanting Hare Krishna yesterday also. So how we if he hasn't come yet, why are we celebrating yesterday also? We celebrate Krishna every day. So, because he's the eternal truth, and he appears from the womb of Devaki. And he was always there in the womb of Devaki. Because he's always everywhere. But that is his pastime. So, Hare Krishna. All glories to Lord Sri Krishna, the absolute truth. Tri Satyam. Hare Krishna. Any question? There should be any questions on the subject of Satya. All the preaching that we're doing is to establish this point that Krishna is reality. And even people will say, well, no, what about Jesus or Shiva or Durga? So all these, why understanding how Krishna is real. He is the ultimate reality. It's all our preaching, and to convince ourselves also that our imagination, which we were just reminded, in case we forgot, that it goes on universal tours. Now they want to go to Mars. They've told us they've sent some curiosity to Mars. But our imaginations are far more versatile than well, that's curiosity, isn't it? They're going to Mars out of curiosity, but the imagination is going everywhere. But Satya.
Before the creation, I existed. During the manifestation, it is I who exists. And after the annihilation, it is only I that remains.
Yeah.
So, actually, there's nothing but Krishna.
Nothing but Krishna,
yeah. So, and then to take it to the ultimate understanding, that there's Krishna and Krishna's energy, then Krishna's energy is also none different than Krishna.
There's nothing, only Krishna exists, but Krishna manifests his energies also, which are different and non-different from him. There's only Krishna.
Those who worship the energy without worshipping Krishna,
those who worship the energy without worshipping Krishna,
they're the Mayavadis.
They're in illusion.
Yeah. Or the materialists.
They're materialists, yeah.
But they ultimately are worshipping Krishna.
They are worshipping Krishna, but in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Mayaiva vihitan hitan. They get benedictions or boons from demigods by worshipping them, but they're worshipping Krishna, but in the wrong way. So they get a different result. But we're also Advaitavadis. There's nothing. Advaita means no two-ness. So there's nothing but Krishna. That's accepted. We're Advaitavadis. We are Smartas. We follow Smriti, Vaishnav Smriti. We're Sahajiyas, because Sahaj means natural. So the natural proclivity of the soul is to worship Krishna. Any term, you can take it, and that the real Sahajiya, you see these Prakrita Sahajiya, they're just imitation Sahajiya. The real Sahajiya is Chandramauli Swami. He dances in ecstasy and kirtan and sings. It's the natural proclivity of the soul.
Correct.
So, there you go. We can announce it everywhere. Bhakti Vikasa Swami told Chandramauli Swami on his face in front of a crowd that he's a Sahajiya. He's the real Sahajiya.
The source of all other Sahajiyas.
Well, if you say that, then you're a
I'm really a Sahajiya.
Yeah, then you're in that. So, what other things we have?
Truth.
Materialists. We're all materialists, in the sense that we want to take all the material. Yeah, we do. We don't reject matter. Bring all the matter and use it all in the service of Krishna. We don't neglect matter.
Prabhupada said, my money is my money and your money is my money.
That's the Advaitavad. Use it all for Krishna. The standard line when someone says, everything is all one. So if your wallet is in your pocket or if it's in my pocket, it's all the same. So transfer it to, if you really believe your philosophy, transfer it to my pocket. They usually have some special word jugglery to get out of that one. In my Leela, in my Leela it's in my pocket. Let it remain there. So, what's the answer to that? Well, in my Leela, my boot is going in your face. My boot becomes one with your face. It's all one.